It's a voicemail unlike anything you've ever heard before.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're looking at 10 people who went missing and left behind creepy recordings.
Yes, I'm in the middle of the field. We're just pushing some guys over. Right here going towards Javelin on both sides. My truck ran out of gas. There's one car here. Got chasing to the woods. Please hurry.
1 minute, this young man was a grainy image on a surveillance video. The next minute, he was gone. And police are baffled.
So my absolute plea is somebody in the public does know something. They need to give the police that information so that the police have got somewhere to start looking for Corrie.
For this list, we'll be examining cases of people who left behind creepy photographs, videos, audio recordings, or appearances on CCTV. Essentially, any documented evidence. Can you think of any other cases of a similar nature? Be sure to let us know in the comments below. Number 10. Lars Mittank. The case of Lars Mittank is as mysterious as it is unnerving. The 28-year-old German man was vacationing in Bulgaria with friends when he got into a physical altercation with some strangers over football. Mittank suffered a ruptured eardrum, which prevented him from flying home. With his friends gone, he began to act erratically. His odd behavior was captured on the hotel's CCTV. He reportedly called his mother and told her that 4 men were out to kill him. Mittank was last seen on CCTV fleeing Varna Airport and running into a nearby field. He hasn't been seen or heard from since, and the reason for his sudden paranoia remains unknown. Number 9. Brandon Lawson. On the night of August 9, 2013, Brandon Lawson got into an argument with his partner Ledessa Lofton and left home just before midnight. Soon after, he called his brother Kyle, saying that he was being chased out of town and had run out of gas. Kyle worried that his brother, who was involved in drugs, was tripping. But following that, Lawson made an eerie call to 911, saying that he was being chased into the woods.
Yes, I'm in the middle of the field. We're just pushing some guys over. Right here going towards Javelin on both sides. My truck ran out of gas. There's one car here. Got chasing to the woods. Please hurry.
When Kyle and the police arrived on the scene, Brandon's truck was abandoned. Kyle's girlfriend Audrey reportedly received a call from Brandon, who said that he was just up the road and bleeding. However, he was never seen or heard from again. Number 8. Corrie McKeague. On September 23, 2016, RAF Regiment gunner Corrie McKeague went drinking with some friends in Suffolk, England. At 3:25 the next morning, McKeague was spotted on CCTV entering the cul-de-sac of Brentgobble Street, an area that contained several wheelie bins. He never left the cul-de-sac. McKeague failed to report for work the following Monday, instigating a missing persons case. His phone was eventually tracked to a landfill, and while extensive searches were undertaken, nothing conclusive was found. The prevailing theory is that a drunk McKeague fell asleep inside a wheelie bin and was crushed by a garbage truck. His remains may have been accidentally incinerated at the landfill, but this theory is contested by many, including McKeague's mother.
So my absolute plea is somebody in the public does know something. They need to give the police that information so that the police have got somewhere to start looking for Corrie.
Number 7. Claudia Lawrence. On the night of March 18, 2009, Lawrence returned home from work and sent a text to a friend at 8:23 p.m. This would be the last time anyone heard from her.
All of a sudden, she wasn't there. It eats into you, literally eats into you all the time. And that's the not knowing what's happened. And it carries on and on and on and on.
CCTV footage was found showing a light-colored Ford Focus driving down the road the morning of March 19th and braking outside Lawrence's house. Despite years of investigation, the case went cold until 2013, when the new Major Crime Unit was unveiled.
It was a good feeling that you had very experienced officers going over the whole thing again.
They found that Lawrence's cell phone was mysteriously turned off the day after her disappearance, and unidentified fingerprints were found in her house.
I think we're encouraged by the fact that something is happening after a rather long period of nothing happening. But the police have got a lot of work to do. They've been doing a lot of work, and that's good news.
Several people have been arrested under suspicion of murder, but a lack of evidence and cooperation from witnesses have prevented any charges from being laid. Number 6. Amber Tuccaro. This 20-year-old woman from Alberta's Mikisew Cree First Nation was last seen just outside Edmonton on August 18, 2010. She got a ride into Edmonton from an unknown male and was never seen again. 2 years after her disappearance, a cell phone recording was released of Tuccaro speaking with the man, and she can be heard adamantly questioning his directions and their true destination.
You better not be taking me anywhere I don't want to go. I want to go into the city. Jeez. Yo, we're not going into the city, are we? No, we're not.
Just 4 days after the recording was released, police found Tuccaro's skull in a farmer's field.
And their search for the voice intensified. RCMP say they've received hundreds of tips, but the identity of the man behind the voice remains a mystery.
The investigative work behind her disappearance has been highly criticized, and the Alberta RCMP even apologized to Tuccaro's family. The apology was fiercely rejected.
I fully acknowledge that in the early days of our investigation into Amber's disappearance, that it required a better sense of urgency and care.
Number 5, Kenny Veach. In 2014, hiker Kenny Veach left a comment on a YouTube video in which he explained coming across a creepy M-shaped cave in the desert and fleeing in terror.
And something about that cave just spooked me. Out of all the caves I've ever gone in, this one just made my body vibrate.
Eager YouTube commenters encouraged Veach to return and document his experiences. And while he did so, he failed to find the cave. But he did come across an abandoned mine shaft.
It goes way, way, way down in there. Let me see if I can... that's pretty far.
Disappointed viewers urged Veach to try again. He set out once more, never to return. His phone was eventually found outside the very mine shaft that was recorded in his previous video. A woman claiming to be his girlfriend later commented on the video, stating her belief that Veach had committed suicide and left his phone behind so as not to be tracked.
And that is it. So see you later, tortoise.
Number 4, Trevor Deely. On December 7th, 2000, 22-year-old IT worker Trevor Deely was attending a work Christmas party at a nightclub in Dublin.
So as he left the club, Trevor was in control of himself. The question is, did he come across someone later who was to become instrumental in his disappearance?
Deely left the club at 3:25 in the morning and stopped at work, where he briefly spoke to a mysterious man in black outside the business gates.
So who is he? And is it possible he followed Trevor after this? Even in this grainy state, this footage may hold the key to unlocking the mystery of what happened to Trevor.
At 4:14 after leaving work, Deely was spotted walking home on CCTV footage, with a man in black following roughly 30 seconds behind.
It's this man here I believe we should be focusing on, captured on camera less than 30 seconds after Trevor. Is he the same man Trevor met outside his office minutes earlier?
Police believe this is the same man who spoke to Deely. Unfortunately, that was the last known recording of Deely, and the case has since gone cold. The man remains unidentified, and no one knows what was discussed or why Deely was seemingly followed. Number 3, Brian Schaefer. In 2006, Schaefer was a medical student at Ohio State. On the night of March 31st, Schaefer and his friend William Florence went bar hopping to celebrate spring break. Sometime during the night, however, Schaefer disappeared.
1 minute, this young man was a grainy image on a surveillance video. The next minute, he was gone. And police are baffled.
Police reviewed CCTV footage outside the Ugly Tuna Saloona, which showed Schaefer talking with 2 women. He left them and walked towards the bar, but wasn't recorded ever leaving.
We seen Brian go back off the camera and were unable to locate him leaving the building.
Every exit is covered by a camera. Brian is never caught on camera leaving the bar.
This was the only known publicly accessible entrance and exit, leaving investigators puzzled. It's possible that the constantly panning and manually operated cameras just missed him. William Florence has refused to take a lie detector test, leading people close to Schaefer to suspect his involvement. Some believe that Schaefer is dead, while others think he ran off to live under a new identity.
Foul play has never been ruled out, nor has the fact that Brian maybe just took off. The stresses of life, med school, and losing a mother to cancer.
Number 2, Henry McCabe. On the morning of September 7th, 2015, Corrie McKeague received a horrifying voicemail from her husband Henry. It features what sounds like menacing growls and human moaning before a voice is heard saying, "Stop it." Henry McCabe was quickly declared a missing person. The last person to see him alive told investigators that he dropped off McCabe at a convenience store following a night of partying. McCabe remained missing for over 2 months until his body was found in a lake roughly 6 miles from the convenience store. The weird thing is that the medical examiner found no apparent injuries on McCabe's body, leading many to question the source and reasoning for the eerie sounds captured on voicemail.
I try to picture where he was, what it might have been like, what circumstances would have made him sound like that.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon. These 2 young Dutch students set off on a hike in Panama on April 1st, 2014. With them was a dog that belonged to restaurant owners they'd befriended, but the dog returned alone. 10 weeks later, Froon's backpack was discovered by a riverbank with her camera and both women's phones. Both had tried to call emergency services on the first day of the hike. A few days later, Froon's phone died, and someone entered false PIN codes into Kremers' phone. More attempts to call emergency services followed. The digital camera contained photos of their hike, but also 90 flash photos from the pitch-black morning of April 8th, one showing the back of Kremers' head. Sadly, the women's bones were later found scattered along the riverbank. It remains a tragic and baffling mystery to this day. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.